They'll be confused for hours, she said. By the time they realize, it'll be too late. The Empire's commanders were frustrated. Commander Varen's face showed tension for the first time. They move too fast, he said. Every time we strike, they disappear or strike elsewhere. They are clever and dangerous. Some council members argued for brute force. Fire everything! Destroy them! Varen shook his head. If we do that, we waste resources. Humans are unpredictable. Brute force will not work. We need to adapt, but they adapt faster than we can. On Earth, humans continued their fight with intelligence and daring. Claire used modified energy fields to block incoming alien pulses, saving human ships from destruction. Engineers worked in shifts, repairing fighters quickly and sending them back into battle. Civilians helped by managing power grids, tracking enemy movements, and relaying information to the command center. Luke directed attacks personally, coordinating small strikes that targeted engines, shields, and weapon systems. Every victory was small but meaningful, each strike a reminder to the Empire that Earth would not yield. Ethan studied maps and enemy positions. They are learning, he said.
But slowly, every mistake they make, we turn into an advantage.
Keep the pressure on. The battle moved past Mars and into the asteroid belt. Sometimes the crowd be taken up. Humans used gravity wells, debris fields, and old satellites to their advantage. They struck unexpectedly, then vanished, leaving the aliens confused and frustrated. One human ship, piloted by Jake and Lisa, darted between two massive asteroids. Laser pulses from the Empire missed completely, striking rocks that exploded in space. The small ship fired back, hitting a weak point in a shield generator. The alien vessel slowed, unable to keep formation with the fleet. Luke watched from the command center. Yes! That's how we fight! He shouted. Even the monitors showed the satisfaction in the team's faces, but the aliens were not defeated yet. They regrouped, sending larger ships armed with more powerful weapons. The humans responded by splitting their forces, attacking in multiple directions at once. Claire released energy pulses from satellites that disrupted enemy targeting systems. Fighters flew in unpredictable patterns, making it impossible for alien weapons to lock on. The Empire tried to adapt. Commander Varen ordered some ships to focus on satellites, hoping to remove human advantages. Others tried to follow human fleets, predicting their moves. But humans were always one step ahead. Ethan pointed to the map. They are focused on what they see, but they cannot track everything. We will use that. Split their forces, attack weak points, and retreat before they can respond. Luke nodded. All teams, execute Plan Delta. Hit, retreat, and hit again. Do not give them time to learn fully. The humans' tactics worked brilliantly. Alien ships were slowed, damaged, and forced to retreat from areas they had thought secure. For the first time, the Empire faced a species that could outthink them. They were powerful, yes, but they were predictable. Humans were not. During the battle, small victories inspired ordinary people. Across Earth, civilians watched broadcasts of the fleet's clever maneuvers. They learned that even ordinary satellites and cargo ships could become weapons when used creatively. People felt pride, a sense that they were part of something bigger than themselves. Jake and Lisa flew another strike, this time targeting an energy relay on a large alien ship. They used debris as cover, firing when the enemy least expected it. Explosions lit up the darkness, showing humans' ingenuity and courage. Claire adjusted the energy dampeners, making sure the next wave of attacks would be just as effective. They will never see us coming, she said, a faint smile on her face. Ethan watched the battle unfold, noting weaknesses and strengths in real time. Every move they make teaches us more. We're learning faster than they are. Luke realized something important. Humans did not need to destroy the entire fleet to win. They needed to show the Empire that Earth was not easy prey, that every attack would cost more than it should, and that humans would never surrender. Hours passed. The battle continued across the asteroid belt, Mars orbit, and beyond. Humans used everything they could, From small fighters to repurposed satellites, the Empire was powerful, but they were learning slowly, and every moment counted for humans. Finally, after long hours, the alien fleet began to withdraw. Commander Varn realized that their initial confidence had been a mistake. Humans had fought back, not with overwhelming power, but with intelligence, courage, and unpredictability. On Earth, Luke's team cheered quietly. "We did it!" Jake said. "They're retreating! This is only the start, but it shows them they cannot take us lightly."
Claire nodded. "And it shows us that we can fight. Even with limited resources, humans can survive and win against forces that seem impossible."
Ethan looked at the maps, already planning the next moves. They'll return, and they will be stronger, but so will we. Every victory teaches us. Every battle prepares us. Luke placed a hand on the table. We need to stay united. Every person on Earth, every resource, every mind counts. The Empire will not forget today. They'll think twice before underestimating humans again. Night fell on Earth, but the planet was alive with activity. Ships were repaired, satellites adjusted, and people trained for the battles ahead. Humanity had survived the first wave, but the fight was far from over. In the quiet moments, Luke looked up at the stars. Points of light moved in the distance, some human, some alien. He thought about the courage of ordinary people, the ingenuity of engineers and scientists, and the unity of a planet under threat. Humans were not just surviving, they were proving something to the universe. Earth would never submit. And far beyond the solar system, Commander Varn watched the retreating fleet, realizing that humans were more dangerous than he had ever imagined. They were clever, adaptable, and fearless, a combination that no empire could easily predict or defeat. Luke turned back to his team. "This is just the beginning." The Empire learned today that humans fight differently. They learned that we do not give up. We learned that we can defend our planet, even against impossible odds. And that, more than anything, is our greatest weapon. The team nodded. Every monitor, every map, every sensor confirmed it. Humans had survived, humans had fought, and humans had sent a clear message. Earth was not to be taken lightly, and the stars waited, watching, as humans prepared for the battles yet to come. The alien fleet had retreated beyond the edges of the solar system, but Earth was not silent. Humanity knew this was only the beginning. Luke Bennett walked across the command center, watching monitors that displayed every movement in the sky, every signal from the Empire, and every human fleet in readiness. "We survived the first wave," he said quietly to his team. "But they will return. We need to make them understand one thing clearly. Earth will never bow." Claire Roberts adjusted the energy dampeners on satellites, making sure Earth's defenses were stronger than ever. "They'll remember our first battle," she said. "And next time, they'll think twice before attacking us." Ethan Cole spread new tactical maps on the table. "We've learned from their tactics. We've adapted. Every strike, every mistake they made, we now understand. Next time, we'll be faster, smarter, and more unpredictable." Sarah Williams tapped her headset, monitoring the Empire's communications. "They're sending messages back. They're trying to figure out what we did, how we fought, and how to respond, but they don't understand us yet." Jake Thompson and Lisa Morgan were busy coordinating small teams of pilots and engineers, making sure every ship was ready for the next encounter. "They will come back stronger," Jake said. "But we are ready. Every part of Earth is helping." Luke nodded. "And when they return, we will send one message they will never forget." The message was simple, clear, and human. It would not threaten with words alone, but with proof of Earth's unity, courage, and intelligence. Engineers worked day and night to amplify signals, build new decoys, and modify satellites into mobile communication platforms. Scientists created visual simulations of Earth's fleet striking and retreating with unmatched precision. Every citizen contributed in some way, whether by producing materials, tracking signals, or monitoring alien movements. Claire watched the monitors, her hands moving quickly over the controls. "They will see our message," she said. "They'll understand that humans do not surrender. Ethan studied the alien patterns. We need to make this more than a warning. It has to be a declaration. Every transmission, every signal, every visual must show them that Earth is united and prepared for anything. Luke agreed. Then we do it! Now! The first signal was sent through the modified satellites, amplified to reach the far edges of the solar system. It showed humans in motion, pilots flying retrofitted cargo ships with precision, engineers repairing vessels in space, scientists operating advanced systems, and civilians assisting in every possible way. Every image, every data stream, every calculation showed ingenuity, unity, and courage. Earth was ordered to pay tribute, but its warning to the Empire was clear. Run! The morning on Earth began quietly, with the soft hum of cars and the distant sound of children playing in parks. It was a calm day, the kind of day people forgot the world could be dangerous. But in the deepest rooms of the United Nations building in New York, alarms were sounding that no one else could hear. Screens flickered, lights blinked, and a single message appeared across every device connected to the planet's networks. Earth, you are ordered to pay tribute. Failure to comply will result in immediate occupation. The message was short, sharp, and without explanation. It carried a weight that made everyone who read it shiver. Scientists, leaders, and soldiers stared at the glowing text, unsure if it was a joke. But the calm disappeared when the same message repeated itself, this time with images of vast starships orbiting a planet far beyond the solar system. Captain Luke Bennett was watching it from his office in the Space Command Center. He was tall, with short brown hair and a face that showed more years of worry than he actually had. He had flown many missions in Earth's space defense program, but nothing like this. The message was not a threat humans could ignore. The Empire, whoever they were, was serious. Luke rubbed his jaw and called his team together. Within minutes, engineer Claire Roberts, a quiet woman with a sharp mind for machines, and strategist Ethan Cole, a man who always thought 2 steps ahead, arrived. They crowded around a large table with laptops, tablets, and printed maps of the solar system. They're asking for tribute, Luke said. His voice was low but firm. Do we know what they want? Claire shook her head. Not exactly. They just said resources, technology, and obedience, that's all. No details. But from the scale of those ships, they can take anything they want. Ethan frowned. Jake and Lisa flew small reconnaissance missions demonstrating human creativity and daring. They used debris, asteroids, and energy fields to move unpredictably, showing the Empire that even ordinary humans could turn space into a battlefield. Every successful maneuver reinforced the message. Humans adapt, humans fight, humans win. Meanwhile, the Empire debated. Some wanted to strike immediately, believing their strength could overwhelm Earth. Others argued for caution, understanding that humans were not predictable, that one miscalculation could cost millions of lives.
Commander Varan remained calm but firm. They underestimate humans, he said.
They assume size and power win wars. But humans are unpredictable. Every attack we make teaches them. Every mistake costs us. We must reconsider. Back on Earth, Luke's team worked tirelessly to prepare for the inevitable next encounter. Satellites were repositioned, ships were repaired, and strategies refined. Every human was part of the preparation, whether directly in space or supporting operations on the ground. Claire worked on enhancing energy dampeners, making alien weapons less effective. Ethan refined attack patterns, creating new ways to strike and retreat. Sarah monitored alien communications, learning their habits and predicting moves. Luke gathered his team for a final briefing before sending the largest human message yet. This is more than a warning, he said. This is our declaration. The Empire must know one thing. Earth is united, humans are clever, and we will fight to protect our world. No one can take this planet from us. The final message was launched through every available communication channel, using satellites, energy signals, and even deep space probes. It combined live demonstrations of human fleets, simulations of strategies, and messages of unity and courage from leaders and civilians. The Empire watched, and this time they could not ignore it. Vorin studied the transmissions for hours, analyzing every move, every innovation, every tactic.
They are not afraid, he said. They are united.
They are clever, adaptable, and fearless. We cannot take them lightly. The council debated, but no argument could ignore the reality of what they were seeing. Humans had turned ordinary resources into extraordinary defenses, used ingenuity to overcome disadvantages, and demonstrated a unity that no empire had faced before. Back on Earth, the message had its effect. Citizens everywhere saw their contributions reflected in the transmissions. Farmers, engineers, and ordinary people felt pride. Children looked at the stars with new wonder. Adults realized that humanity had proven itself capable of greatness. Luke watched quietly, satisfied. We have done more than defend ourselves. We have declared to the universe that humans will not submit. We have shown the Empire that Earth is not a planet to be commanded. Ethan smiled. And they will remember this. Every leader, every commander in their fleet will think twice before underestimating humans again. Claire nodded. This is not the end. They may return, and the battles may continue. But now, they know our strength, and we know ours. That is the greatest victory. Even as night fell on Earth, humans worked tirelessly. Satellites were adjusted, ships repaired, and systems monitored. There was no fear, only determination. Humanity had survived the first encounters, fought back against impossible odds, and delivered a message that could not be ignored. Jake and Lisa looked up at the stars, thinking about the Empire's distant fleet. They know we're ready, Jake said. Lisa nodded. And next time we'll be even stronger. Every move we make, every tactic we use, shows them they cannot control us. Luke gathered the team for a final meeting that evening. We have proven ourselves, he said. The Empire knows that humans are clever, united, and fearless. But we must stay vigilant. The universe is large, and there are threats we cannot yet see. For now, we celebrate our victory, but tomorrow we prepare again. The team nodded, understanding the weight of their actions. Humanity had sent a message that could not be ignored. Earth was not a planet for tribute, not a world to be commanded, and not a species to be underestimated. Far beyond the solar system, Commander Vorin watched the transmissions again. He realized that humans were unlike any species the Empire had encountered. Clever, resourceful, unpredictable, and united, they were a force that could not be crushed by size or weapons alone. They fight differently, he said to his council. They are dangerous because they adapt, because they unite, because they refuse to bow. We cannot take Earth by force without risking everything. And on Earth, life returned to a kind of normal, but nothing would ever be the same. Humans had faced a galactic empire and survived. They had proven their ingenuity, courage, and unity. They had declared to the universe that Earth belonged to humans and that any who tried to command them would face consequences. Luke stood outside at night looking up at the stars. Points of light moved in the distance, some human, some alien. But now he understood something clearly. Humans were not alone, but they were strong. Cleverness, courage, and unity were their greatest weapons, and they had shown the universe that Earth would never bow. He whispered to himself, almost as a promise. We are ready, and anyone who underestimates us will regret it. The night sky stretched endlessly, but humanity had made its mark. Earth had spoken. The Empire had listened, and the universe now knew. Humans were not a species to command, and Earth was not a planet to conquer. And far beyond the stars, the Empire began to rethink its approach. They think we will comply. They probably believe humans are weak, that we can be controlled easily. But they don't know us. We don't give up that fast. Luke nodded. He looked out the window at the small blue planet spinning beneath them. We need to show them one thing right away. Earth is not a planet that can be bullied. For hours, the team discussed possibilities. Scientists suggested ways to hide critical technology. Engineers proposed reinforcing defenses, and strategists considered the Empire's likely moves. Outside, the city carried on, unaware that every decision inside that room could mean the difference between survival and total destruction. Meanwhile, across the country, ordinary people began to notice strange things. Communications were faster than usual. Satellites flickered and the night sky seemed brighter as distant lights moved in strange patterns. Children pointed at the stars, wondering if the night had changed. Adults whispered in fear, unsure of what was happening. In California, Jake Thompson, a young pilot in the space program, watched the news and felt a chill. He lived with his sister Lisa Morgan, who worked at a tech company. They both understood enough about satellites and communications to know that the Empire's message was real.
This isn't a drill,
Jake said, staring at the screen.
They're serious, and we're not ready.
Lisa's hands shook slightly.
Then we have to get ready. Even if we don't know exactly what they want, we can't just wait for them to take it.
Back in New York, Luke's team worked through the night. Claire examined old probes and satellites, thinking about ways to modify them.
Ethan drew diagrams of attack and defense, marking paths through space where human ships could move quickly but unpredictably. Luke coordinated communications with other commanders around the world, trying to unite Earth's scattered forces.
By morning, the world had noticed. Governments held emergency meetings, citizens rushed to stores and shelters, and news networks ran non-stop broadcasts about the Empire's message. Fear spread quickly, but so did determination.
Humans were not used to being told what to do, and this new threat awakened something inside them. Luke's team decided they could not just hide. They needed to send a warning back to the Empire to let them know that Earth was not an easy target. Claire suggested using an old interstellar probe as a transmitter.
It was small, outdated, but could carry a powerful message if modified correctly. We'll show them, she said, her voice steady. We may not have their firepower, but we have creativity. That counts for something. Ethan nodded.
And unpredictability. They expect fear and obedience.
We'll give them courage and strategy instead. Luke smiled slightly. Then let's start. No one else can do this for us.
Over the next few days, the team worked nonstop.
Engineers rewired satellites, scientists encoded messages, and technicians tested every system repeatedly. Even ordinary citizens contributed in small ways. Jake and Lisa helped design camouflage signals for communications. Farmers and factory workers produced components for defensive systems. Everyone, in some way, became part of the effort. As preparations continued, the Empire's ships drew closer.
Tiny points of light appeared near the edges of the solar system, moving faster than expected. The news called them approaching vessels, but Luke and his team called them what they were: a threat. One evening, after a long day, Luke walked outside. The city lights were bright, and the sky above seemed calm. But he knew the calm was false. Humans were about to face something bigger than anything they had imagined. He thought about the billions of people living on Earth, unaware of the danger but relying on leaders like him to protect them. He remembered the stories of past wars, of times when humans were underestimated, and how those underestimations had often led to triumphs. Humans survived because they were clever, adaptable, and fearless when necessary.
Luke believed this was the moment to prove it again. The first test came when the Empire sent a small reconnaissance drone to Earth.
It appeared in the upper atmosphere, scanning the planet and trying to measure human responses. Luke and his team had anticipated this. Using modified satellites, they jammed the drone sensors and sent back false readings. Claire watched the monitors with excitement. They think they know what's happening, but they don't. This is just the start. Ethan leaned back in his chair. We need them to feel human unpredictability. Fear can be effective, but cleverness is even better.
Every move we make should remind them we're not simple prey. Across the Atlantic, citizens noticed strange lights in the night sky.
Some thought it was aurora. Others assumed meteor showers, but the truth was more important. Humans were sending a message. We are awake, we are watching, and we are ready. As the days passed, Luke received messages from other leaders around the world. Countries began coordinating, sharing resources and information. Fear did not unite them, but a common determination did. Humanity, which often argued over small things, found strength in a common purpose. The Empire had underestimated humans. They assumed fear would lead to obedience, that their presence alone would force tribute. But humans were already proving them wrong. Not with weapons, not yet, but with cleverness, unity, and determination. Late one night, after weeks of planning and preparation, Luke addressed his small team. The room was quiet. The only sounds were keyboards clicking and monitors humming. "We've done everything we can to prepare," he said softly. "The Empire will see that we are not afraid. They will see that humans are clever, that we can adapt and fight back. And when they make their first mistake, we will be ready." Claire smiled faintly. "It's not just about fighting. It's about showing them that we will never bow to threats. That's the message they need to hear."
Ethan nodded. Exactly.
And when they hear it, they'll know that Earth is not a planet to take lightly. They'll think twice before they try to control us. Outside, the night sky stretched endlessly, filled with stars. Somewhere, far away, the Empire's eyes were watching. But on Earth, humans were preparing. They were not perfect. They were not fully ready, but they had something the Empire could not predict: the courage to fight for themselves and the willingness to stand together when the universe demanded it. And so Earth waited, not with fear, but with quiet confidence. The tribute demanded by the Empire would not be given. Instead, humans would send a message, a warning written in action and ingenuity. The Empire would learn, in the days to come, that Earth was not a planet to order around. For now, the world slept, but beneath the surface, minds worked, hands built, and hearts prepared. Humans were ready, not just to survive, but to show the universe that even a seemingly small planet, filled with ordinary people, could be extraordinary when pushed to the edge. The modified probe sat on the launch pad, small and unassuming, like an ordinary satellite. But inside, it carried something extraordinary. A message to the Empire, carefully prepared by humans who refused to bow. Claire Roberts ran her hands over the control panel one last time, checking connections and power sources. She was calm, focused, her mind working through every possible failure. "We're ready," she said, her voice quiet but certain. Luke Bennett nodded, his eyes on the dark sky beyond the command center windows. "Remember, this isn't just about sending a message. It's about showing them we are clever. They expect fear. We give them strategy." Ethan Cole leaned against a table, arms crossed, and unpredictability. "They think humans are weak. This will remind them we are not." Sarah Williams, the communications expert, adjusted her headset. "The signal is encrypted and disguised. It will look like a routine data transmission at first. Then it will show our capabilities, our technology, our reach, our willingness to defend ourselves." Jake Thompson and Lisa Morgan were nearby, helping monitor the launch systems. Their excitement was visible, but so was their tension. This mission was more than a test. It was humanity's first move against a force they barely understood. The countdown began. 10, 9, PAL, 8. The probe vibrated slightly as power surged through its circuits. Claire's fingers hovered over the final command. 3, 2, 1, launch! The probe lifted smoothly into the upper atmosphere, leaving a thin trail of fire and smoke. Cameras tracked it as it disappeared into the sky, its small engines propelling it far beyond Earth. Inside the command center, everyone held their breath. The probe had to reach the Empire's territory, carry the message, and survive. It was fragile but brilliant, a testament to human ingenuity. Hours passed, then days. The probe traveled through the cold void of space, its signals carefully encoded to confuse any sensors it might encounter. Every calculation, every adjustment had been done with care. Claire and Sarah monitored every transmission, correcting errors and boosting signals.
Then, far beyond the solar system, the Empire noticed. Commander Viren, the envoy sent to collect tribute, was watching the screens when the signal appeared. He was tall, with gray skin and long, thin fingers that moved quickly across the control panels. His eyes widened slightly as the message unfolded before him. The transmission was unlike anything the Empire had seen. It showed humans building new energy systems from old satellites, repurposing space debris as defensive weapons, and coordinating across continents in ways that suggested a surprising level of intelligence and strategy. The message was clear. Humans were not defenseless, and they would not be easily conquered. Varen turned to his council, his voice low but urgent.
This is not just a warning. They are clever, and they are united. We underestimated them.
Some members of the council laughed.
They are a small planet. They cannot resist us. This is mere bravado.
But Varen was not convinced. Bravado does not explain these modifications, these strategies. Look at their communications.
Look at their coordination. They are unpredictable.
They could be dangerous. Back on Earth, Luke and his team watched the monitors waiting for a response. When the first signals from the Empire's detection systems flickered, everyone leaned forward. The Empire was analyzing, calculating, and for the first time showing signs of hesitation.
Ethan smiled slightly. They're thinking. That's good. Fear alone would have made them ignore us. Cleverness makes them worry.
Claire nodded.
And that worry is exactly what we need. Humans survive best when others underestimate them and then regret it. Meanwhile, in cities across the planet, people began to notice strange phenomena.
Satellites blinked unexpectedly. Lights in the sky moved in unusual patterns, and power fluctuations occurred without explanation. Citizens speculated wildly. Some thought it was a test, others assumed interference, but no one guessed the truth.
Earth was sending a warning to a distant empire, a warning that would change the balance of power.
Jake and Lisa monitored satellite feedback, tracking the probe as it traveled through the edge of the solar system.
It's moving faster than expected, Jake said. They won't know what hit them.
Lisa grinned.
And that's the point.
Surprise is our best weapon right now. As the probe reached the Empire's outer borders, Voren's forces tried to intercept it.
Alien warships moved quickly, but the probe was small, agile, and equipped with decoy systems. Every attempt to capture or destroy it failed.
Back on Earth, Luke and his team cheered quietly.
They won't catch it,
Claire said, her eyes shining.
Not unless they underestimate us completely.
The probe finally reached the Empire's main communication array, broadcasting the human message across every system.
It was a warning and a challenge, showing humanity's readiness and ingenuity without outright hostility.
The Empire leaders were stunned. They had expected fear, submission, and obedience. Instead, they received strategy, cleverness, and courage. Commander Varian studied the projections.
They are ready for war, he said. But it is not a normal war.
Their technology is crude, but their minds are dangerous,
some council members argued.
They are still weak. We control the stars. One fleet is enough to destroy them.
Varen shook his head.
Do you see this? They are unpredictable. They coordinate across an entire planet. They will adapt faster than we can respond. One mistake, and we lose. Back on Earth, Luke and his team knew that the warning had worked.
The Empire was cautious now, uncertain. But they also knew this was only the beginning. The probe had delivered the message, but the Empire could still respond with force. Humanity had to be ready. Luke called another meeting with his team.
They've received the warning, he said.
Now we wait, watch, and prepare.
They will make their move. And when they do, we need to be ready to respond in ways they cannot predict.
Claire worked on improving defenses, Ethan refined strategies for hit-and-run attacks, and Sarah monitored all incoming communications from space. Every member of the team knew that Earth had shown strength, but real danger was still ahead. Citizens on Earth continued their daily lives, but beneath the surface, preparations accelerated. Engineers worked on repurposing satellites. Scientists experimented with energy fields, and ordinary people contributed however they could. Humanity was not waiting passively. They were building, preparing, and learning every day, becoming a little stronger. Meanwhile, the Empire deliberated. Their leaders were divided, some arguing for immediate action, others for caution. Commander Varian knew the humans were dangerous, but he also knew his fleet had power no single human planet could match.
The question was not whether they could win, but whether they could predict human actions well enough to avoid losses. The warning had created uncertainty, and uncertainty was rare in the Empire.
Their vast fleets were built for obedience, not adaptability. Humans, with their clever minds and unpredictable actions, presented a problem the Empire had never faced. On Earth, Luke walked across the command center floor, watching monitors that tracked the Empire's movements. "They are thinking," he said quietly. "And that gives us time. Time to prepare, time to learn, and time to show them that Earth does not submit." Ethan nodded. "And when they make their next move, they will find humans ready for anything. We are not soldiers yet. We are a planet learning to fight for itself." Claire smiled slightly. "And that's the real advantage. We are not limited by rules. We adapt, we invent, and we survive. That's what makes humans dangerous."
Jake and Lisa watched the sky at night, noting the faint movements of alien ships in the distance.
"They think they are in control," Jake said. "But we've shown them they are not," Lisa nodded. "And we will keep showing them. Every day, every move, every strategy counts. They will learn that Earth is not a planet to bully."
The probe continued its mission, broadcasting messages and showing simulations of Earth's defenses and strategies. Every transmission was a reminder. Humans were clever, courageous, and united. The Empire could see that, and their caution grew. Varen studied the probe's data late into the alien night.
"This is only the beginning," he said. "If we do not move carefully, humans will become more dangerous than we imagined."
Back on Earth, Luke and his team gathered around a map, plotting potential moves by the Empire. They discussed resources, possible attacks, and the ways humans could turn weaknesses into strengths. Every plan emphasized creativity and unpredictability, humanity's greatest weapons. Sarah adjusted communications equipment, Claire tested new satellite modifications, and Ethan refined tactical strategies. They all knew the Empire might attack, but they were not afraid. Instead, they were ready, prepared to show the universe that humans were not a species to control. Night fell over the planet, calm and quiet, but beneath the surface, Earth was alive with preparation.
Every action taken, every plan made was part of a message to the Empire. Humanity would not bow. The tribute demanded would not be given.
The stars above Earth twinkled innocently, hiding the truth of what was happening below. Humans were readying themselves, learning, growing, and preparing to fight in ways the Empire could not predict. The probe had delivered the warning. Now the challenge was real. How would the Empire respond? Luke watched the night sky and whispered, almost to himself, "We've shown them we are not afraid."
Now we wait to see if they understand what that means. The first lights of the alien fleet appeared at the edge of the solar system, small points of brightness moving faster than any human craft.
Luke Bennett stood in the command center, eyes fixed on the screens. Every sensor, every satellite, every telescope showed the same thing. The Empire had decided to respond.
"Here they come," Luke said quietly. He turned to his team.
"Everything we prepared starts now. Every plan, every modification, every signal. They will see humans in action, and they will not expect it."
Claire Roberts adjusted the energy dampeners on the satellites. These devices were designed to confuse the Empire's advanced sensors, making Earth's positions and fleet movements difficult to track.
"They'll try to find us first," she said. "Let's make sure they get the wrong answer."
Ethan Cole spread diagrams across the table.
They expect straightforward attacks. They expect fear.
But humans do not fight like that. We will hit, retreat, and strike again in ways they cannot predict. The first wave of alien ships entered the outer asteroid belt. Sensors detected massive engines, energy shields, and weapons far more advanced than anything humans had ever seen. Even so, Luke's team felt no fear. Fear was expected, yes, but humans had something else: courage, creativity, and the will to survive.
Jake, Lisa, Luke called. You two are ready for the satellite diversions?
Jake Thompson nodded, fingers flying across the control panel. Lisa Morgan monitored the communications network, sending false signals and fake transmissions to confuse the alien sensors.
They won't know which ships are real,
Lisa said.
Every move they make will waste time. The Empire's ships fired first.
Energy pulses lit up space, burning faint trails across the dark sky. Humans on Earth scrambled to respond, but not in the ways the aliens expected. Satellites released decoys, creating hundreds of false targets. Energy dampeners distorted signals, making human ships appear in places they were not. Claire watched the monitors, adjusting the dampeners in real time.
They're hitting nothing, she said with satisfaction.
Everything they fire is useless. Luke gave orders calmly. Move the fleet through the asteroid belt.
Use the terrain. Use everything they cannot predict.
Avoid their strongest weapons and hit their weak points. The human fleet was small but clever.
Old cargo ships were retrofitted as fighters. Satellites became mobile defense platforms, and even space stations were equipped with energy disruptors. The aliens expected a weak, unorganized response. Instead, they faced a planet that had turned ordinary resources into extraordinary weapons. Ethan studied the enemy movements.
They are overconfident. They think size and power win wars. They do not understand humans. They adapt slowly, but humans adapt fast. Every attack they make teaches us something. The first real clash began near the edge of Mars's orbit.
Humans used the asteroid belt to their advantage. Small fleets darted between rocks, hiding and reappearing where the Empire least expected.
Energy pulses from alien ships hit empty space or decoy satellites. Human fighters struck quickly, damaging engines and weapon systems, then retreated before the enemy could respond.
Luke cheered silently when the first alien ship slowed, clearly damaged. "One down," he said.
And we're just getting started.
Jake grinned as he monitored satellite maneuvers.
They don't even know we're here half the time.
Every decoy works perfectly. Lisa adjusted signals again, creating false data that made the aliens fire on empty rocks or distant satellites. Sarah monitored the transmissions.
They're receiving it, she said. Every part of the Empire will see it. Every council member, every commander will understand the message.
Far away, Commander Vorin and his council studied the transmissions. Their eyes widened as simulations, live feeds, and strategic data unfolded before them. Humans were clever, resourceful, and united in a way the Empire had never expected. Baron spoke first.
They are more dangerous than we thought. They do not have our firepower, but they make up for it with intelligence, creativity, and determination. They are not a planet to conquer easily.
Some council members protested.
They are small. One fleet could destroy them.
Vorin shook his head. They are small, yes, but they are unpredictable.
They do not follow rules. They adapt faster than we can. One mistake, and we will lose more than we gain. Do you see their message? They are warning us. They are showing us they are ready.
And they are united. That is the greatest weapon. Back on Earth, Luke watched the monitor, seeing the Empire's hesitation. They understand now, he said softly. They understand that we will not obey, that we will fight, and that we are capable of anything to protect our planet. Ethan smiled. And that is exactly the point.
They will think twice before acting again. Every move we make is a declaration.
Earth is not for taking, Claire nodded. It's not just about defense. It's about proving to them and to ourselves that humans are clever, courageous, and unstoppable when united. The transmissions continued for days, reinforcing the message. Humans everywhere watched, proud of their contributions. Farmers, engineers, scientists, soldiers, and ordinary citizens saw themselves as part of a force that no empire could underestimate.
Every action mattered, every person was important, and every small innovation contributed to Earth's strength.